Great. So, hi everyone, and welcome to a social science coffee break. I'm Stacy Allen. I'm joined today by my colleague Paul Rombo. And in these sessions, the idea is to present you with one elementary and one secondary resource that you can use to promote digital competency alongside of your social science competencies. So I'm very sad that it's our last coffee break of the year. But for this coffee break, I wanted to share with you the idea of interactive models. These can be done for any subject, any society, but we do have a learning package that is created for Quebec around 1980. And I love the idea of dioramas and models because there's such a great way to showcase student learning. They can include audio recordings, they can include animations, they activate students that are kinesthetic and need to like to build things, and they're very hands-on. So I just love them. And I think they're a great way to review and wrap up whatever social science learning you have done this year. Personally, if I was teaching in a class right now, I think that would be what I would love to do towards the end of June is to create a model about something you learned in social science over the year, animate it, add facts about the different aspects of the society and illustrate that visually and auditorially in a diagram. So as I said, I love them because they're super engaging. They can be created with makey-makeys or microbit. We tend to use more makey-makeys, but you can use a microbit with alligator clips as well and program them. And you can program everything quite simply using Scratch software, which is a free online block coding software for students. And I suggest this activity for cycle 3. You could maybe do it with cycle 2, but they'll need maybe a bit more support, especially if they're newer to Scratch. So I will open up the activity so you can see what the activity booklet looks like for Quebec around 1980. So first of all, I've included a Padlet here to inspire students with different kinds of models that they can create. I personally love these kind of ones that are using natural elements because dioramas, sometimes teachers are like, well, I don't have that many craft supplies in my classroom or they're expensive. Well, maybe you can go outside and you can make some beautiful dioramas, and it's a great way to encourage students to go outside and infuse outdoor learning in your social science class as well. Here I'll open up the student booklet around Quebec society around 1980. So you can see that students have to pick a theme or an aspect. Then they have to answer some questions based on resource pages from societies and territories that they would read. And then they have to, after they've looked at the documents, they have to plan their interactive model, or they could do a sketch too. You can make them make a sketch or a drawing using not carbon, pencil. So here you'll see that there are the instructions on how to connect Makey Makey to whatever they're creating. Alongside, you'll notice those instructions are not super elaborate. They're just about connecting the Makey Makey to the project. But if I go back to the page, there is the how-to guide, which step by step for creating interactive models, which really goes into the deep dive of how you're coding things and how you connect everything. So you'll see here, it explains what the Makey is using photos and videos. It shows exactly the coding blocks you'll need in Scratch so that you can simply add voice and interactions or movement animations to your project. So when a piece of your model or your sketch is pressed, something will play on the screen. So again, I hope you enjoyed our coffee breaks this year. Please know that you can reach out to Paul or I at any time if you're looking for resources for a specific cycle. We'd love to work with you, even co-create some resources if possible. So stay in touch and have a wonderful summer. Paul, I'll leave it to you to do our last secondary resource for the year.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Stacy. Yes, this is going to be our last coffee break for this year. And like in last coffee break session, I want to focus more on the fact that exams are coming up for secondary fours. Last week, I shared the timelines and overview tools that we have. You can check out that video. And this time, I want to share something. A good example, actually, of what Stacy said, collaboration, and also a good example of something we'd be willing to collaborate on in the future, which is evaluation packages or evaluations themselves. So this is actually an evaluation package that you see here called Revision in Action that I wanted to introduce to you if you haven't seen it and show you where it is. And also I want to talk about the actual evaluations, practice evaluations that are available that were done by RISC Universal, and we adapted into English. So that another example of collaboration. So I'm just going to say that again, these are review tools. Like last week, students use these overview tools for key events and practice evaluations to get ready for the exam. Of course, uh, I'll give you an idea of what these overview tools look like. They're basically also activities. Students can work with these. There are student workbooks available. So I'm going to go to the main HQC site and show you where everything is. First of all, students can access various things through the toolkit, but the practice evaluations are available in the teacher's menu. So we'll start with the toolkit. And right up top, you'll see revision in action. This was presented by Lise Prue and Marie-Josée Morneau in 2019 at the ACIUS convention. And when the consultants and I saw these, that we thought they would be a great idea to translate them in English. And this was a team effort by the Dean subcommittee at the time. And basically, there's a series of documents and students' handbooks and also answer keys that are available to anyone really because these are public resources. So basically, a document page would look like this, where you've got different topics. You've got an image for each topic, you've got a text for each topic, and you've got, great, a chart or a map. I'm doing a mapping webinar this afternoon, which will also be on YouTube eventually as well. So that's great for me. So this is what these packages look like. Again, there's one for each time period, and the student workbooks, student handbooks, are look like this. They have an overview timeline and they have note-taking tools for each topic. So you got your date, purpose of it, the name or territory that it took place in, a consequence of it, which would be available in the text, changing of the political structure, and so on. These are different questions for different topics, and they help students work through the key notions in that time period. The other thing I wanted to show you was the practice evaluations that are available in the teacher menu here. And these are test-like evaluation tools, most of them, not all, but most of them translated from the Receipt Universal into English. Um, they have short questions, C1 and C2 questions. I want to note that the short questions are not available to students. The short question tests. You have to be part of the social sciences teacher community to access those. But the other ones are available to anybody. At least the notebook is, not the answer keys. So basically, the short answer questions you're familiar with. They look like exams. You've got established fact questions. You've got situate in time questions, and you've got all the IO questions, the short answer questions, done in the structure, same structure as the exams. And again, there are answers available for these. And then you've got the C1 questions and the C2 questions, where there's a table or a diagram to fill out to describe the period, and in the C2 questions, a diagram to interpret the period. So those are my two shares. Remember, these are available to teachers, and you can join here by filling out the form. And yeah, that will be it for us for the coffee break sessions this year. Thanks for joining us. And those of you that showed up in person or online, thank you very much for discussions and what you shared. And these are our shares. They're available on the playlist. Check them out. And we'll see you next year for something maybe like this, maybe a slightly different format. And have a great summer and good luck on the exams if you're a student watching this. Cheers.